Hi and welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video. My name is John. I'll be taking you through the charts this Friday, the 4th of November. As you can see, I have the live currency strength indicator tables in front of me. We have the trend traders table and the day traders table. These are the same studies but just different time frames. Now you can see the currencies are lit up today, so lit up like a Christmas tree, although it might be too early to mention Christmas, but all the currencies here are lit up or highlighted in green. That means that all the currencies that are being shown here today have confluence between the higher time frame and the lower time frame, so lots for you to be looking at when you see these types of tables where it's full. Now just to make you aware that just because you see that this is full, it doesn't mean go and trade every pair available to you. You know, you still need to apply your risk management. Go and check out the charts. We're going to check out a couple of those charts today in this video, but make sure that you apply appropriate risk as well. Okay, now the tables are auto updated every 15 minutes 24/7, so wherever you are in the planet you can get an update whenever you log into the website. So right, what is the live currency strength indicator table showing us today? Well, it's showing us that Kiwi remains top on both tables at S1. That's followed by the Canadian dollar, which is S2, which is S3 on the day traders. Then we have the US dollar, which is S3 on the trend traders, S2 on the day traders. On the weak side of things, we have the Swiss franc, which is W1 on our trend traders, W3 on our day traders. We have pound, which is the second weakest on our trend traders, but tops the chart as the weakest on the day traders. We then have euro, which is W3 on the trend traders, but is the second weakest on the day traders. In this video, because there's so many to look at, I've gone and had a little look at the charts ahead and just picked out a couple of charts which I think will be good to keep your eye on. So the first one I'm going to check out is the pound US dollar, and then I actually like EURCAD as well. We've seen some developments on EURCAD which I quite like the look of as well. So let's jump it into pound US dollar here. We can see that it's featured on the currency strength indicator tables, and I'm actually going to jump backwards first on the rolling currency strength indicator tables. The reason being is you can see I've put this red line, so this chart behind is the pound US dollar, and you can see I've put this red line on here. Now that red line was actually showing us at the time, so if I go down, which was the 3rd of October, okay, so if we get all the way to the 3rd of October, we can see here that let me just grab a pen tool very quickly. Here we go. Right, so you can see here that the pound actually was on the same side as the US dollar. So US dollar was S1, pound was S3, and then on our day traders we had confluence because the dollar was S3 and pound was S1 at the time. So when you see something like that, that's telling us that we shouldn't really be looking to do anything on that chart because they're on the same side. So what we naturally would see from that is a potential range out of the market, and that's what we have seen. If we look at the chart here, you can see that pretty much prices then traded sideways between the sort of 1.0925 handle and the 1.16 handle. So prices really kind of traded between that sort of area. Now, however, price is still within that boundary, but we're having the opposite effect in terms of, if I scroll back up now to the live currency strength indicator, we have pound on the weak side and dollar on the strong side. So that would suggest to me that pound dollar now could be continuing the move to the downside here. So when you're looking at the live currency strength indicator tables, make sure that just because you're seeing a downward trend doesn't mean that that trend is going to continue at that point. Okay, now however, it's telling us that there could be a possibility that the trend is now going to continue. Okay, so keep that in mind. Looking at this daily chart here, we've got all the really information that we need. Price has come up into a trend line resistance here around about the 1.16 handle. We've then started to see sellers enter the market at this point, find resistance, and now we're trading quite aggressively to the downside. Now, a couple of fundamentals played the part of this move. We had the Federal Reserve hike interest rates We've then had a potential for the Federal Reserve to hike rates for longer rather than hiking more aggressively in the future, and that sparked some dollar strength. We then had the Bank of England yesterday, which hiked interest rates, but then talked about the pound or the UK being in at least a 2-year recession. So that's put pressure on the pound, and we're starting to see price start to push lower here, which is then reflected on our live currency strength indicator tables. So if price is going to continue to the downside, we've got a couple of areas that could be of interest to us. First, we have the 10 spot 925 handle, because those are the sort of lows that had been created on the way up when price transitioned from sort of being in the aggressive downward trend to sort of ranging in line with the currency strength indicator tables, until we kind of reached an area of resistance really that was strong enough to see sellers come in, which was the 1.16 handle, which again had confluence with these previous sort of structure highs looking left, as well as this trend line resistance running through. So that then provided sellers the opportunity to get short. We are now starting to push to the downside. You can see the bearish candlesticks here as well, quite aggressively strong as well. Now, if price was to clear through the 1.0925, then there could be an opportunity for pound to go lower. We could see the 1.035, which were the lows that were formed in September, being retested again, which would be fairly significant because that is an extreme low on the chart. Now, for your day traders, what you're going to be looking for is a little bit of a retracement phase as well as the trend traders, because what we want to try and see is price going to make another lower high. And you see I've mapped out this 114 handle. Now, the way I've picked that 114 handle up is from this short-term area through here, where you can see price has found some resistance in and around this 1.14 handle before seeing significant moves. So we had a breach here, price rallied to the 116 handle, we consolidated, we've traded lower. As price was aggressively moving lower, we paused at the 114 before seeing a breakout. So this 114 level to me is fairly important for price. So if we were to see price trade back up to the 114 and we started to see sellers re-enter the market around this area, and the live currency strength indicator table still suggested that the pound US dollar could continue down, then we should look for opportunities around that point. Alternatively, you could be looking for some breakout opportunities, because we may not pull back to that area if pound US dollar is going to go on an extreme impulsive phase. What we may see is just price consolidate, which is what we're seeing now, but in this sort of range, this bearish candle range, price is just kind of trading within that. So maybe if price was to break out below the low, that would suggest that price could continue to the downside as well, and breakout traders could eye up that opportunity down to the 1.0925 handle. Okay, so really speaking, higher time frames, the narrative from the higher time frames is that everything is really pointing back to the downside here for the pound. Now you go in the daily, we can clearly see that we're starting to see that bearish momentum come through, and then on our 4-hour we've highlighted an area where you could look for sellers to re-enter the market. Now, another chart that I like the look of, so if I just actually bring in the live currency strength indicator tables, was EURCAD. Now, CAD's appeared on the chart, on the tables today, so I wanted to have a little look at those pairs, and I quite like the look of EURCAD because price traded outside of a level of interest. So you can see here, again, I've got another red line, which happened to be the 3rd of October as well, which was actually suggesting to us, if I just go on here, go back down the page to the 3rd of October, you can actually see that Euro was on the strong side, CAD was on the weak side, which was again reflected on the day traders. And look what happened to price. Price was in a bullish channel, and it was telling us to be long at that point. So what we would have been looking for is, would price react at the bearish channel, bullish channel lows, and would price then trade to other areas of interest? So you can see here, price come back down into these highs into the bullish channel low. So you've got confluence, a horizontal confluence with a trend line confluence there. Price then rallies over 380 pips at that point. So once you've seen that on the tables and you've identified an area that price could come into to find support, then it's all about the execution at that point, and you can see nice sort of wick into that area as well. So if you traded the wick move, 370 pip move up to the next level of resistance. So price came up into the 137 handle, which were these previous structure highs just over through here. We just about tapped into it. We came pretty close to tapping into it. The high of this candle, I think, was 4 pips away from the 137 handle, so close enough. But what's happened since is what's interested me. So basically the live currency indicator, live currency strength indicator tables are suggesting that we could look for downside to the market, and we've broken out of this bullish trend. Okay, so we were in a bullish channel, price has then breached the channel, and we're now trading to the downside. So that's quite significant because price is no longer respecting the channel. So what we could look for is price going to then trade lower? Where could it trade lower to? So we've got the 1 spot 29.50 handle. That to me is a significant low. So we could be expecting price to do something like this, where we get a lower high and then trend down towards that 1 spot 29.50. So if I just go to a lower time frame, like the 4 hour, I've just put in another area of interest. So we can see here the 1 spot 34.25 handle could be an area where price finds resistance on the way down, because what you can see is now price has transitioned into making those lower highs. So I want to look to see where that lower high is going to come in potentially. And if we look left, you can see that we've got all this kind of area here where price has found support most recently. So that area could act as resistance if price is going to continue to trend to the downside. So 1 spot 34.25, the one to watch here on EURCAD. But I thought I'd feature this because price has broken through that bullish channel, which is fairly significant for a move to the downside. Again, if we look at it from a weekly perspective, we're respecting the 200 moving average as well. So the daily 200 moving average there is closed below it. So that's also a significant move, because you can see the last time we came and tested the daily 200, we had a fairly large move that was nearly 2,000 pips. So again, could that happen here where price is going to come back down into that 1 spot 29.50 now? So something to consider there for EURCAD as well. So keep your eye on both pound US dollar and EURCAD. I'm just going to flick back to pound US dollar just to remind us that the 1 spot 14 handle could act as a little bit of resistance. I hope you enjoyed this video update. Now, if you are watching this at a later date and you are looking to add the currency strength indicator tables to your trading to help you identify where the moves are happening in the market, then please head over to charlesclifton.co.uk. We have a trial period here for £1 to see if the indicators, the currency strength indicator, is something for you. So thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.